Hello, fellow makers. So I made a couple of rulers here, and I put a regular bought ruler underneath it just to show that it comes out pretty darn accurate. Um, if you look at it straight on, 0 and 15 are at 0 and 15. The camera, the angle, it makes it seem like it's not perfectly there, but it is. I designed this in a software called Cuttle. You could design something in Tinkercad. You could design it in Cricut Design Space, Silhouette Studio, Inkscape, Adobe Illustrator, all sorts of things you could design in, whatever you have. And I think if kids design their own measuring devices, first of all, they can customize them and personalize them. Second of all, I think by putting tick marks or building them to what they need to be, that's going to help them understand what the tick mark means and how measuring devices actually work. You also get to have discussions about precision. Like on this, do I need all the millimeter lines or is just a half there good enough for us? Um, those discussions are important, and that's really what Maker Ed is about. Um, Two things. This is the same file done differently on the Glowforge. Um, Obviously, there was a cut line there, but there was also artwork, text, and lines. Now, I set these to score in the Glowforge, and then I did it so that they would engrave. Couple things to notice: seahorses came out fine, numbers come out a little strange, and the tick marks didn't come out. Well, engraving a line doesn't work because there's nothing to engrave. Because engraving is like coloring in between, filling in the lines. And that's why the font also didn't work well, because when I knew I was going to score it, I found a single line font. And that doesn't engrave well. So if you got to know what you're going to do with it. I think scoring came out fine. It took a minute 22. This took about 9, almost 10 minutes to do. So I think scoring came out great. Now let me show you how I designed it. Actually, probably show you more about a different way to design it than what I actually did. Where are we? There we are. All right. So here's my design. Someone suggested that you use different colors for what you want to happen. For example, my red is going to be my cut line. Glowforge will interpret the different colors to be something different and then separate them out. Red is a traditional cut line in other softwares. So then I just made all the artwork purple. So that became the flaw when I wanted to engrave some of it and score something else, because it all came together as one and I couldn't separate it. So if I wanted to engrave like the seahorses, I would just change their color over here. And I probably put them in as a fill, but that's another thing. Let's go design something. So here is cuttle.xyz. Free 5 designs or pay for subscription. I'm in inches. I don't want to be in inches, so I go to units and I set it to centimeters. Awesome. And then come here, and so here's our centimeters. Now I need a box, and that box is about 16 centimeters by 4. I like putting it at the origin. So again, what's age appropriate for your students? Is this software going to be age appropriate for your students? Developmentally appropriate. I'm sorry, developmentally appropriate. Do they understand origin? Do you want to have discussions about origin? I want it to be 16 centimeters by 4, because that gets me a 15 centimeter ruler, and I need to zoom. Which way do I got to zoom? Okay, yeah, plus and minus signs will zoom, depending. Sometimes your trackpad will zoom, depends on what you have set to do. All right, now I want to make that a cut line. So I come over here, it's on stroke, it's on color. It doesn't really matter. Red is a traditional thing. It's nice to have different colors for different functions. And then we need a line. Now, here's where we start having discussions with the students. It's got 2 points to it. And I could try to make it straight up and down. And I could get pretty darn good right there, huh? Okay. Or we just tell them, hey, the X's have to be the same. And it doesn't matter where it is right now, because I'm going to place it in a moment. So let's make this -3 and -3. All right, now let's go about placing it. Let's bring it down here. Since I'm on, what do you think? Let's make it a certain size. That would be the Y. 0.1. Let's put 0.1 at 0.5. And 0.2 at 1.5. How about 1.75? Sound good? All right, now I don't want that at 7.49. I want that at, I don't want it at 8. Here's where it would happen if we put it at 8. It'd be over there. I want it negative 7.5. I don't want it at 0.49. All right, so we're placing it there. Now, do they really need to know what that is, or just place it at the same place? And that this is how big it is. Okay. Now, the way I did it first was I copy and pasted and then moved it with my arrow keys. If that's good for your students, do that. Here's how you do that. Copy paste. Notice there's a second line there. And now I want to walk it so that it's 1 centimeter to the right. Or place it 1 centimeter to the right. So if I walk it, notice how it's going to take me a while to get it 1 centimeter right because I go down to the negative 6.5. See, it's moving over. So because it's moving by hundredths place. Boom. There we go. All right. So that would be 1 centimeter over, which is what we want to do. Now here's another way to do it in here. If that's good for you students, do that. I noticed something that if you zoom more or less, watch the decimal place over here. That's going to change. Now the arrow's going to move it by tenths. And nope, couldn't get it small enough. I did have it one time where the arrows on the keyboard moved it by ones, by integers. So just be aware of that. So I'm going to go a different way. There's this modify up here. It's a linear repeat. It's going to repeat that line. And we come over here. Hey, there's a modification. Linear repeat. Move it by 1 in the X direction. Nothing in the Y direction. We could do it, but we don't want to. And how many times? Well, 14. Let's go 15. Oh, there we go. We got all sorts of lines here, right? Awesome. There we go. Now let's add some numbers. Again, text. Come on, text. There we go, text. We got to start with 0, but I'm going to score this. So I want to go to fonts over here on the right, and I want single line. Did you want sans or serif? I want sans. Hershey. Yeah, what the heck, right? And I bring my 0 in, and I'm gonna place it. It could probably be smaller. And trying to place it right over top. Ooh, I didn't like that. I don't want that to happen. Again, placing, position. It's at negative 7.83. What happens if I put it at negative 7.5 where the line also is? Notice what it did. It put it so the box starts at negative 7.5, which is not what I want to happen. So we're just going to place it. Now, let's linear repeat. Let's try that. Yeah, it's putting text boxes, right? Awesome. Ooh, 16. Now I just have to go. Now let's see if I can. Oh, no, I can't do that because it's always going to be a 0. All right. I was hoping. It didn't like that, so we got to get rid of that. So let's remove linear repeat. Okay. This is going to be the copy paste. And drag it and move it over. What I don't like about dragging is I move my Y too much sometimes. 1. Copy paste. Again, go to position. We can move it over to -5.7, right? And that's pretty close, but I kind of want to center it up a little bit better, wouldn't I? Okay. Again, when I moved, I probably should have just selected it and used my arrow keys, right? Yeah, that would have been smarter. Okay. Boom, 2. And go through a number, right? You don't need me to number this one. But now the discussion, do we want a tick mark at half? And let's do that. Let's put a tick mark at half. So let's get another line. And again, the X's just need to be the same to get me started. And it's, let's go 3 and 4. Now I want it to be smaller than that. Right, correct? Yes, we do. And so we need to put it, let's see, if this is at 7.5, I need this to be at -7. Oh, and I actually put it at -7. Yeah, pretty miracle, huh? But I want this at the half. Awesome. And again, linear repeat. This might be, nope, not 16 times, because 16 would go over here to the edge. So we're just going to go 15. Looking pretty good, right? Okay. Now we can add, oh, I want to change the color. Okay. So I want to, since I know I want to score those, I'm going to select those, and I'm going to change the color to anything else. And I just like purple. Okay. Now we want to personalize it. Well, there's a great website called the Noun Project where it has free accounts and you can just find all sorts of stuff. I don't know, atoms. So I'm going to get an image of an atom. You can pick what you want. Basic download. Continue. And I want an SVG. This software only wants SVGs. Okay. Now I want to file, import my SVG. And atom, noun, atoms. Awesome. Okay. There we go. And yeah, it's going to come in really big, right? So we just need to shrink it down, move it up, shrink it, move it. Still kind of big though, huh? Well, again, is it big for our stuff or does it just look big? So there we go. And yeah, we could linear repeat that if we wanted to, or just copy and paste, right? And then just, move it over. Again, arrow keys will do it incrementally, or we could come up here, -5, boom, move it. Now, again, you got a choice. If you want to engrave that, you can just leave it black, right? Cut red, score one color, engrave another color, and that would work. Now we make sure we name our project. It helps if you spell things correctly. Okay, and we export the SVG. Awesome, Ruler Chulu. We go to our Glowforge app. I didn't want to do that. Why did that happen? And we're here. We go to a new design, upload file, and downloads. Ruler 2, there we go. Open. And it's going to go through all the processing, rendering your design. Here we go. And notice we have three things here. It's because we have three different colors. Once you pick your material, I don't know, then you can adjust your settings, right? Now, I don't want that cut. I want that scored. There we go, score. And cut, I tend to slow cuts down just a touch, just to make sure. Oop. There we go. Give it a try. See what works. Bye.